Hello there, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new GoPro Hero 10 Black and how it stacks up to the GoPro Hero 9 Black that used to be my everyday camera. I really love that thing, still do, but we've got a lot to talk about today, so let's get going. I'm Dave from Chase the Summit, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the brand new GoPro Hero 10 Black. I've been a long-time user of the original GoPro Hero 9 Black and all of the previous GoPros all the way back to like the Hero 3 or whatever with a little plastic case. The GoPro Hero 9 Black was a camera that I used basically every day for some sort of content to make for this YouTube channel. And it was a great camera, had great stabilization, great feature set. However, it did have one major flaw that drove me nuts, and we're going to talk about that in this video. This video is not going to be your typical spec read and unboxing type of video. We're really going to focus on the exciting new features of the Hero 10 Black and what they fixed from the Hero 9 Black that got way better in the Hero 10 Black, and two things that are still better in the Hero 9 Black compared to the Hero 10 Black. That's really confusing. And during the process of talking about all these new features on the GoPro Hero 10 Black, I'll also be showing off a bunch of test footage that I shot side by side with the GoPro Hero 9 and the 10 Black. Before we dive in, if you find this video helpful, entertaining, fun, any of those things, I would really appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss more videos from me in the future. That really helps me out. Also, if you're interested in picking up either the GoPro Hero 10 or the 9 Black, I will have links in the description that do help out this channel, but they cost nothing extra to you. Okay, let's talk about my use case because you might find that interesting. I'm mainly a trail runner, hiker, climber, that kind of person, and that's why I reach for GoPros most of the time because they're waterproof, durable, they have really good image quality, and of course that amazing stabilization that's great for trail running and ice climbing and things like that. So I'm generally like an outdoorsy type of person, and I just use these cameras in that capacity. I'm not going skydiving and I'm not going bungee jumping or anything like that like you'd see in a GoPro advertisement, so just keep that in mind when we go through this video. Okay, let's talk about what's the same between these two cameras, the GoPro Hero 10 Black on the left here and the 9 Black on the right here. Obviously the giveaway is going to be that GoPro logo there has now turned blue. Along with the side, there's now a 10 that's in blue instead of the 9 that's in white. Aside from the color of the text there on the GoPro Hero 10 Black, these two cameras are identical. That shared form factor between these two cameras is a good thing because all of the mods that were available on the Hero 9 Black also work on the Hero 10 Black. So that's the media mod that allows you to plug in an external microphone, has an HDMI output. That's the max lens mod that gives you more horizon leveling for 360 horizon leveling and all of those other little things that are available. Both of these cameras are still waterproof to a depth of 33 feet. And another thing these two cameras have in common is that they share the same size battery, and it's a good thing because you probably have a bunch of these kicking around if you own a Hero 9 Black, but it's also a bad thing, and we'll talk about that a little later on in this video. And of course, both of these cameras have the little flip out GoPro fingers underneath, and that means that they're both compatible with the hundreds of available GoPro mounts that are out there. Head mounts, chest mounts, wrist mounts, bite mounts, there's basically a mount for everything. And finally, the last thing these two cameras have in common is going to be the video resolution size. It's not exact, but they go from 1080p all the way up to 5K, but the GoPro Hero 10 Black got a slight bump in 5K up to 5.3K, so the frame is just a little bit bigger. And on that note, when it comes to still images, if you're just taking pictures, which I never do, but you might, both these cameras still feature a 23 megapixel sensor. However, in the GoPro Hero 10 Black, you can use that 23 megapixels in every mode, where previously in the Hero 9 Black, you had to shoot in that RAW mode, which was kind of a pain. You had to do some post-processing. So it's nice to see that you can shoot just a regular picture in 23 megapixels now. Okay, let's start talking about some of the new features in the GoPro Hero 10 Black. The first thing and the most exciting thing, I think, is going to be the new GP2 chip. This new GP2 chip is 30% faster than the older chip in the GoPro Hero 9 Black. And you might think, oh, what big deal? I have to wait a little bit longer to save a photo or something like that. There's a lot more to it than that. So one of my major gripes with the GoPro Hero 9 Black was issues with it lagging and freezing and hanging up while out in the field. When I'm out on a trail run, I'd go to hit record, the screen would go black or just freeze in place, and I'd have to actually stop, pull the battery out, sometimes pull the SD card out, put it all back together and turn it back on to get this thing to work again. Now, so far, I've only had the GoPro Hero 10 Black for a little over a week now, but I've used it basically every day, and so far the GoPro Hero 10 Black has not hung up or had an issue with lagging or freezing once. Not only that, but there's a lot of other benefits to that GP2 chip. Basically, just swiping through the menu system of the camera is a lot smoother, the refresh rate's higher, there's no lag when you tap a feature or turn a setting on or off, everything's just instantaneous. And when you go to save a video after you're done recording, it saves much faster. The write speed just appears to be way quicker. And this new GP2 chipset is responsible for a lot of other features in the GoPro Hero 10 Black that we're going to talk about moving forward. For instance, it's the new frame rates that are available in different resolutions. Basically, GoPro said, hey, let's take all of the resolutions from 1080p all the way up to 5.3K and double the available resolution. Now on the GoPro Hero 10 Black, you can go all the way up to 5.3K, 60 frames per second, effectively doubling your slow motion capabilities. And this trickles down. So in 4K, you can go up to 120 frames per second, and in 2.7K, you can go up to 240 frames per second, which is like extreme slow motion. It's actually a lot of fun to play with. And because that 2.7K is still reasonably high resolution, you can still crop in on it. It still looks really sharp. It's a great looking image, even at high frame rates. So that's a really nice feature in the GoPro Hero 10 Black. Another new feature in the GoPro Hero 10 Black is going to be improved horizon leveling. If you didn't know, these two cameras both offer horizon leveling. That means if you tilt the camera a little bit off axis, it'll keep the horizon of your image perfect, even though the camera's tilting, which is really kind of crazy. When you shot at 5K, you'd only be able to tilt the camera a little bit before that horizon would lose its leveling and it would fall and you'd end up with a crooked image again. Now on the GoPro Hero 10 Black, you can go all the way up to 45 degrees before losing the leveling, and it's really impressive compared to the Hero 9 Black. And on the topic of stabilization and leveling, the GoPro Hero 10 Black ships with HyperSmooth 4.0 stabilization compared to the HyperSmooth 3.0 stabilization of the GoPro Hero 9 Black. That's to say it's supposed to be a little bit more improved and refined. I gotta say though, I don't see a huge difference. At this point with action cameras, the stabilization is so good, it looks gimbal-like, that I can't imagine it getting much better. And I did some testing where I was out there really shaking my hands around like crazy while I was running, and they both look really good. I mean, when you get to the extremes, if you're really shaking your camera around, they can only do so much. But if you're just kind of jogging along, these cameras keep a very stable image. And maybe the stabilization is a little bit better on the Hero 10, but it's really good on the Hero 9 too. And it's really hard to see a difference between these two cameras. That's to say they're both great. So that's that. The next new feature I want to talk about is more of a claimed new feature. GoPro claims that the GoPro Hero 10 Black has improved low light performance when compared to the Hero 9 Black. And I gotta say, I don't see a huge difference here. The GoPro Hero 10 Black and the Hero 9 Black basically have the same imaging sensor, so it's to be expected that they would perform in the dark pretty similarly, but GoPro does claim that the Hero 10 Black has better low light performance. I think in some situations where it's got some light and it's not really, really dark, the software in the Hero 10 Black tries to reduce the noise a little bit more than on the Hero 9 Black, but at the end of the day, they're both very similar. I wouldn't expect a miracle here. These are very tiny cameras with tiny sensors. The GoPro Hero 10 Black also ships with a new color profile available called Natural. I think they included this new color profile because on the previous GoPros, from the 9 to the 8 to the 7, they always had these like crazy colors. It's a very GoPro look of like super saturated blue skies and high contrast, and it was a little bit much for some situations. So on the GoPro Hero Black, you've got 3 options for color profiles. You've got flat, just like on the GoPro Hero 9 Black. That's a flat picture profile that you can grade in post-production to really fine-tune the look you want. And this is great for more of a professional application, but not for everybody if you just want to like upload to Instagram or whatever. Next up, you've got the natural picture profile, and that's the new one. And this one just has a more natural look to it. The name's implied. So they brought down a lot of that saturation. They gave skin tone a little bit more of a realistic look. They brought down those crazy blue skies and greens and reds, and it just looks a little bit more natural. It's the best way I can describe it. And finally, there's also a vivid picture profile, and this is basically turning that GoPro color back on the Hero 10, whereas on the Hero 9, it's just called GoPro. Basically, vivid is identical to the GoPro profile on the Hero 9. That's to say, very punchy, very contrasty, bright, and if you like the look of the older GoPros, you could still get that on the Hero 10 Black. For me though, I'm in natural mode all day long. I really like that new picture profile. It's a lot easier to grade and it just looks good right out of the camera. Another new feature on the GoPro Hero 10 Black that might be one of my favorite features is the new Hydrophobic Lens on the GoPro Hero 10. So another major complaint on the GoPro Hero 9 is that I would take this thing out hiking and I would throw it in my hydration vest or in my backpack, bike, and I'd be sweaty, obviously. So the sweat would accumulate on the lens. And spoiler alert, but if you're a trail runner, you're soaked through head to toe. Your hat, your shirt, your shorts, everything's wet, and there's nothing dry to clean off your lens with. It's impossible. So it's kind of gross, but what a lot of people did is lick their lens. I can't even say that without cringing a little bit. I'm not gonna lick my GoPro, I'm sorry. And honestly, the GoPro Hero 9 lens is really hard to clean. Even if you clean it really good, there would always be smudges or whatever, and it would make the image all foggy and cloudy. It just wasn't great. On the GoPro Hero 10 Black, however, with the new lens, it's got a hydrophobic coating that repels water. So if you dunk this in water and take it out, the water beads right off and falls off immediately. You can actually kind of whip it and get the water to spray off of it without leaving any residue behind. That feature is great in itself, but the standout feature is that this lens is way easier to clean. I can actually wipe it with a wet piece of fabric and it'll still dry pretty clear, so the image still looks good. The good news about this new hydrophobic lens is that it's also compatible on the Hero 9 Black. They have the same form factor, so you can actually pop this lens off and put it on the Hero 9 Black. And I would highly encourage you, if you own a Hero 9, to upgrade to the new lens, because this old lens drives me bananas. All right, now for the audio test of the GoPro Hero 10 Black compared to the older GoPro Hero 9 Black. Right now they're on the same selfie stick right next to each other. Both have the same audio settings enabled. I think I have auto wind turned on both. And yeah, this is what they sound like. To my knowledge, I don't think they made any changes to the microphone or processing of the audio on the GoPro Hero 10 Black, but we'll find out. Let me know what you think sounds better in the comments down below. And finally, before we move on to the downsides of the Hero 10 Black, we've got the last new feature, and that's going to be improved transfer speeds on the Hero 10 Black. And this is kind of a big deal too. So on the GoPro Hero 9 Black, you could connect it with the GoPro Quick app on your phone and download your footage right from the camera to your phone, which is pretty cool. The only downside to that was the connection speed was very slow. Good news though, the GoPro Hero 10 Black is about 30% faster over that wireless connection. And yes, it is very noticeable. When downloading footage, it seems way faster over Wi-Fi than it did before. And if that speed isn't fast enough for you, GoPro has actually added wired connection to your phone from the GoPro directly from the Hero 10. So you will need a special cable for this, and it does not come in the box, but you can plug the camera directly into your phone with a wired connection and get super fast transfer speeds over to your phone. I could see this being hugely valuable if I was like on a road trip or something like that. I want to upload some Instagram stories. I wouldn't want to mess around with that wireless connection. I'll just plug it in. Okay, so far in this video, we've talked about all the amazing new features of the GoPro Hero 10 Black and all the things they fixed and upgraded, but it's not without some issues. Let's talk about it. The GoPro Hero 10 Black, just like the older GoPro Hero 9 Black, can overheat in some situations. But the strange thing is that it appears that the GoPro Hero 10 Black overheats a little bit quicker than the GoPro Hero 9 Black, and I found that kind of odd. This overheating only gets worse if you decide to use some of those high frame rate modes. So in 4K 120p, I was only getting about 16 to 18 minutes of use before the camera would shut down and overheat. And the same goes for 2.7K at 240 frames per second. Again, it would overheat in that 16 to 18 minute range. And again, they were just sitting on a desk in a pretty warm office. So I could imagine if you're using these in the water or you're on a bike and there's a bunch of wind blasting by them, that would be some form of cooling and they probably last a lot longer. I'm just sharing worst case scenario, what it would be like on a hot day if you're trying to use these cameras for an extended period of time. Now on the flip side of overheating is also cold weather performance, and this is an issue I had with every GoPro to date. The Hero 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, all of them had issues with cold weather performance. Basically what happens is I'm a winter hiker, I go ice climbing, I do things like that, and in those cases I'll have the GoPro in my backpack or something, I'll pull it out and I'll go to shoot a little clip of video and realize my battery has 1% left, the camera turns on for 10 seconds, it turns itself off. So to test the GoPro Hero 10 and the 9 out, I brought them down to my freezer in the basement with all of my stored frozen meats and stuff. That freezer is set to 0 degrees Fahrenheit or about 18 18 degrees Celsius, and I let them roll to see how long they would last. And they actually both rolled for over an hour without an issue, and at that point I ended the test and took them out. I let the cameras warm up a little bit after that for a couple of minutes, then I turned them back on from a cold state and put them back in the freezer to see how long they would continue to go. At this point, both cameras turned off almost immediately, claiming that their batteries were completely depleted. However, when I took the cameras out again and warmed them back up, the batteries came back to life and I was able to use them again. So there's really no improvement here with the GoPro Hero 10 Black in cold weather. It's basically the same as the 9 Black, and you know, that is what it is. I found a way to get around this is to keep the GoPro inside my jacket on cold days, keep it close to my heart or like in my armpit or something, keep it warm, and then it doesn't end up shutting down when I need to use it. And finally, we get to the final downside of the GoPro Hero 10 Black, and that's going to be battery life. Early on in this video, I told you that both of these cameras share that same GoPro battery. It looks like this, and it's quite tiny for a camera like this. And as I just said, this camera gets quite hot when you use it for long periods of time. And guess what? Heat equals energy, and energy equals battery life. So if you're dumping a lot of heat from the camera, you can expect that it's using quite a bit of juice from this tiny little battery. To be fair, the battery life on this camera really depends on how you use the camera. If you shoot at pretty tame frame rates like 4K 24p or even 1080 24p, you can expect pretty good battery life out of this camera. In fact, the battery life on the GoPro Hero 10 Black is probably the same as the Hero 9 Black in those modes. However, if you decide to drop into those high frame rates like 2.7K 240p or 4K 120p, it crushes the battery life really fast. Okay, final topic in this video, and that's going to be price. The GoPro Hero 10 Black comes in at $499 here in the US, and that's just for the camera itself. However, if you bundle the camera with GoPro's cloud service that costs usually about $50 a year, you can actually get the GoPro Hero 10 Black for $399, so you get about $100 off and you get the cloud service. So that's kind of a no-brainer. I would probably just do that and cancel the cloud service after a year if you don't want to use it anymore. And now that the GoPro Hero 10 Black is out, the GoPro Hero 9 Black has got a little bit of a discount. This comes in at $449 here in the US, or $349 with the cloud service. So it's about $50 cheaper than the GoPro Hero 10 Black. And I gotta say, for $50 more on the GoPro Hero 10 Black, you do get a lot more. You get those new frame rates, and you get that new GP2 chip that just reduces any errors you might have in the field. I just like the peace of mind knowing that my camera's not gonna freeze up and lag and stall and lose footage. That's just peace of mind for me, and I think that $50 is totally worth it. That said, if you live in a really warm climate and you're afraid of overheating, or you just want maximum battery life, the GoPro Hero 9 Black might be the way to go. At the end of the day though, these are two really impressive action cameras, and even though the GoPro Hero 10 Black is not absolutely perfect, there's still a couple of minor issues, I can say this is the best GoPro that's ever been made, and it's a big leap in performance compared to the GoPro Hero 9 Black. And for me, moving forward, this is going to be the camera I reach for as a daily driver when I go for my runs and I'm capturing footage for this YouTube channel. But that's just my opinion on these two cameras, and now I want to hear from you. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about the new GoPro Hero 10 Black. Is it worth $500? Is it worth $400 with the cloud subscription? And is it worth getting over the GoPro Hero 9 Black or any of the competition? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you. And as I've already said, if you're interested in picking up either one of these cameras, I will have them linked in the description down below for the best pricing available. Go check that out. And if you enjoyed this video and you made it this far without clicking away, I really appreciate it. And I think you should go hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so you don't miss more videos from me in the future. And that is all I've got for this one. I spent way too much time on this video. I don't even want to tell you. It's embarrassing how much time I spent shooting, editing, testing. Okay, that's all I've got for this one. Bye.